All right, testing. My check. All right, so let's go into our part 4A of our video, in which this time we are going to talk about the first three government intervention and their relationship with their inefficiency. Here, let me start by saying that in the absence of externality, which we are going to talk about in our part 5 of our video, market intervention will always, all right, sorry, always, not also always result in inefficiency。唔使問啦，如果冇 externality 嘅情況之下，任何政府差嘅時候一定出事。OK，好嘛？Now, if you remember in our syllabus, we have 5 market intervention that we need to deal with, right? So let's deal with the easier first three first. All right, will be price ceiling, price floor, and quota. Now, as always, I want to start with our logic first. 好啦, here, if you remember, price ceiling, okay, price ceiling, it should be a maximum price. The the effect would be price. It should have a price decrease. Quantity should also decrease. So what happened is that we know for consumer price decrease, yes, they will be very happy, but you will be buying fewer unhappy. So you will know, right? CS, actually, we do not know how it will change. For producer surplus, okay, for producer, lower the price, of course you are unhappy. Selling less, of course you are unhappy. Producer surplus would in fact go down in our case. Now anyway, right? Remember, when we add them up, total social surplus depends on quantity. All right, so we know TSS should decrease in total. All right, what about a graphical representation? 其實 logic 係咪易諗好多啊？Graphical representation here. Now, remember, we label D equals MB, S equals MC，得唔得？記得啦，唔好漏咗 label 啦。Now remember, price ceiling, it should be set below our equilibrium price, right? Let's call it PC right here. 好嘛？嗱，記唔記得啊？There is one trick to know whether it is in fact effective or not. A ceiling, you install a ceiling. Do you see the cross? No, you don't see the cross, right? Therefore, it is effective. 你嘅目的要令佢消失啊嘛，係咪？係嘛？If it's still here, then it is not effective. Here, let's check at PC. You will see that 好啦，嗱原先 P1 啊嘛，係咪？Original P1. Now we are QC and let's call it Q1. All right, original producer surplus 先啦，易睇啲係咪啊？Original producer surplus, this big guy. Now you only have this small guy. So you see, right? PS would decrease. 好啦, the thing is, what about consumer surplus? Consumer surplus, originally, this triangle. Now it becomes this trapezium. 好啦，咁佢升咗定跌咗啊？ You see, this is a decrease. This is an increase. So increase or decrease? Do you know? Actually, we do not know. CS do not know. But the thing is, when you compare the total area, you will see that this whole thing will be lost. Do you remember what we call this? We call this debt weight loss. Total social surplus would go down. Okay? 好嘛? So price ceiling results in inefficiency. Now, what about price floor and quota? They follow the very same logic. 又嚟啦噃 price floor, price goes up, quantity goes down. For consumer, what will happen? Oh, here, right? Yes, for consumer, price goes up, you will be unhappy. you're buying less. So double the unhappiness. Now, what about producer? Producer, you will see that happy, right? More expensive, they be earning more happy. But quantity drop, unhappy. So producer surplus would actually be unknown. But adding the two together, we know that TSS would actually decrease. All right? 好嘛? Now, graphically, it will be very similar to what we have in the above diagram. Okay, here we have our D equals to MB and S equals to MC. 好冇？好啦，睇住啦噃。Now, price floor should be set above equilibrium price to be effective, right? So let's call it PF. Our P1 is here. Q1, our QF. So let's look at consumer surplus first. 我哋睇 CS 先啦。Consumer surplus used to be this guy. Now it no sorry, used to be this guy, the big triangle. Now becomes this small guy. So you will see, right? CS would decrease. What about producer surplus? Used to be this triangle. Now becomes this trapezium thing. 係嘛？你又見啦 this part decrease, this part increase. So increase or decrease, we do not know. PS unknown. But the thing is, adding together, you will see we have our dead weight loss. 又係比之前少咗啊 The total area would be less than what we had before. 好嘛 So we will have a dead weight loss. Almost the same for quota. Almost the same. Basically, this whole logic, you can put it down here. Graph is also very similar. 差唔多嘅啫。Again, this is our D equals to MB. Then S equals to MC. Okay, now remember, a quota would kink the supply curve right here. We call this S2, but do not call it MC2, okay? Because part of it would not be MC. We talk about vertical part, it should become 0 after that. All right? 好嘛？都冇得整啦，仲有咩 MC 啫？係嘛？ All right, so here. This is our P1, Q1. Let's call this Q quota and P quota. All right? 好嘛？ So, original 又係啦，又嚟啦喎。Original CS, this big guy. New CS, this small guy. CS would decrease. Original PS, this guy. New PS, this guy. Trapezium thing. You will know. Producer surplus, unknown. But the thing is, we are definitely sure we have a dead weight loss right here. Dead weight loss. All right, 好嘛？你見到啦 They are very similar. Only difference is about the supply curve. Okay, 好嘛？ All right, so here. Let's look at quite a lot of examples here. 去到呢個 topic 就好多 example 啦。All right, now first question here. Now, which of the following are results of government lowering an effective price ceiling? Remember, right? Price ceiling should be, right? Price ceiling should be below equilibrium. Now you lower it even more. So what happens is that price goes down, quantity would further goes down. What happened is that reduction in producer surplus. Let's think about it. From a producer perspective, lower the price, unhappy, selling less, unhappy. So yes, producer surplus would decrease. Okay, and increase in excess demand. Now, for a price ceiling, right? Things are too cheap, so too many people want it. Now you lower it even more, becomes even cheaper, so more people want it. Yes, more excess demand，係咪？越嚟越多人想要嘛？More excess demand and an increase in total sales revenue if it is elas 唔係啦，係咪啊？Total revenue equals P times Q. This decrease, we know that total revenue must decrease, right? 唔關事啦。Therefore, 1 and 2 will be the answer that we want. Okay, 好嘛？Next one. Next one would be about quota. You see that, right? Originally, they have a quota set at Q1 right here. Now, it asks, what would be the result of a reduction in quota? Now, remember, a reduction in quota means that Q would further go down. So price would further go up. Diagram, it should be something like this. 係咪 reduction in quota 係再少啲啊？OK 係咪啊？係再 even less quantity allowed. All right. Total expenditure may increase or decrease. Yes, because total expenditure P times Q. One go up, one go down, so it may increase or decrease. Yes. The consumer surplus will decrease. 好容易啫嘛，係咪啊？P increase, Q decrease. So what happened? As a consumer, right? Price increase, you will be very unhappy. Buying less, you'll be unhappy. Therefore, CS will decrease. Yes. What about total social surplus? Remember now, because we are further away from MB equals MC. Or we can say, 嗱考試可以寫嘅呢個係咪啊？ You will see our MB MC gap. Our gap between MB and MC has goes up. Therefore, we know that TSS must go down. Okay, 好嘛? So it must go down. 1 and 2 only. 三唔啱啦，好嘛? All right. So next page. Here. Now, suppose the supply curve are upward sloping, so no vertical things, right? If the government impose an effective quota on the production of car, 好啦，記住啦，effective quota P increase, Q decrease，好嘛？嗱，total social surplus will increase, no，係嘛？ We know government intervention TSS should drop, right？好嘛？ Producer surplus would decrease. Let's see, right? As a producer, actually, you'll be happy when the price goes up, but you'll be selling less. Therefore, producer surplus is actually unknown. 其實你唔知喎，係嘛？ Producer surplus is actually unknown. Now, what about total social surplus? In the petrol market would decrease. 你唔係啊？問緊 car 喎 imposing on car, right? What to do with petrol? 關咩事啊？ Remember, car and petrol, they belong to a complement. Therefore, since the quantity of car decreases, demand for petrol would also decrease because they belong to a complement relationship. OK， 可唔可以？因為佢而家 complement 嚟㗎。Therefore, as demand decreases, you will remember, right? CS goes down, PS would also go down. 係咪啊？ Therefore, total social surplus would decrease. 好嘛？會跌啦。CS 同 PS 都跌咗嘛？Demand decrease, TSS decrease. Alright， 好嘛？ Now next one. Somehow is 47%. So it may be a little bit harder. All right. Now, if the government raise effective price floor, remember, price floor should be above the price. Therefore, if they raise the price floor, what happens is that P increase, Q decrease. 係咪應該 P 升 Q 跌啦？As a consumer, what happens? Unhappy, but you will be paying more and buying less. Unhappy, CS would go down. 好啦，at the same time, the price of its substitute increase. 好啦，記唔記得咩意思啊？Substitute, price of substitute increase, quantity of substitute decrease. 好啦，since they are substitute, right? The demand for our goods should increase. When demand for our good increases, CS goes up. So now we have a CS goes up and CS goes down. What is the final result? May increase or decrease or even remain unchanged. Who knows, right? You're not given that. 好嘛？點解呢條難啊？Many people try to draw diagram, not using logic. 咁畫 diagram 咪是但畫到升或者跌咯，係嘛？So my advice, when you don't have to, don't draw diagram. Use our logic. That will be good enough. All right, 好嘛？So let's move on to the next one. Next one, right here. 好啦，你見啊，成日都 quota 係咪 ？Always reduction，頭先咪做過一次咯。Reduction in quota, P increase, Q decrease, P 升 Q 跌啊嘛，係咪？Total expenditure may increase，其實一定係嘅喎。May increase 啊嘛，it doesn't say will increase, it may increase. Yes, it is possible it will increase. OK，好嘛？It possible it will increase when it is 應該咩啊？inelastic 咯，係咪啊？If the demand is inelastic. All right. Now, what about consumer surplus would decrease? Yes. 係嘛？P 升 Q 跌 So unhappy, unhappy. Yes, it would decrease. Total 冇玩啊，唔解啦呢個一二啊，唔解啊。Now, next page. Next page right here. Again, 你見到啦，又係 quota again. Now, it is set the quota at Q1, right? So you see, right? P increase, Q decrease. Yes, total social surplus will decrease. 我哋之前講咗啦，market intervention it will lead to TSS decreasing. Total expenditure of good X we do not know. It depends on the elasticity of demand, right? Consumer surplus 講咗好多次啦，係咪啊？Producer surplus remember, right？嚟多次啦，唉，算啦。Consumer unhappy, unhappy. So CS decrease. Producer more expensive, happy, but you're selling less, unhappy. So it would be a question mark right here. Okay, it may not decrease. Answer 1 and 3. Okay, 好嘛？嗱，唔難啦。好啦，let's work on I think two more short questions, and then we are done with this video. All right. Now, suppose the government raised the price floor. 記住啊。This is a price floor. All right. So remember step number 1. You need to decide whether the price floor is useful or not. PA, price floor right here. 有冇用啊? No, after you install the floor, it is still here. Right? You see, the cross is still here. Therefore, this one is not useful. It is here to distract you. In fact, it should start in here. This is our P1, Q1. And with the new price floor, yes, it becomes useful. It rises to a PB and Q2 right here. All right? 好嘛？好啦 whether it could enhance economic efficiency. In fact, there are 2 ways to answer. Okay? There are 2 ways to answer. First, you can deal with the TSS, those kind of thing, right? But let's learn another easier way to answer. Of course, first, you need to mention originally, okay? originally at P1, Q1, the equilibrium point, 係咪啊 because it was ineffective, the price floor was ineffective. 嗱，呢個唔解啦，我哋之前都教過啦，好嘛 Now with the effective PB, right? The price will become PB and Q2, basically increase, decrease, right? 好嘛 Since it would be effective. OK, 好嘛嗱，學一招啦。我哋唔使寫咁多嘢嘅。In fact, to answer our efficiency, unless otherwise stated, okay, unless otherwise stated, unless it asks you to compare CS and PS, if you're not asked to, the only thing you need to compare is MB and MC. At Q2, we see that MB at here. This is our MB1 at 2, 好嘛叫做 This is our MC2. You will see that MB is actually larger than MC. What does that mean? This is an underproduction. Okay, underproduction. Is it efficient? No, it is actually inefficient. Therefore, we disagree with the statement. It cannot, okay? It can, or I should say, cannot enhance economic efficiency. 其實會差咗㗎 Okay, it will become worse. All right, 好嘛 Now, what is it trying to do? This question, some of them would not realize PA is ineffective. 佢冇留意啊，好嘛 All right, so here 我哋仲要 mark 埋喎 This we call it the dead weight loss. OK, 好嘛？因為而家 MB MC 啦，MB bigger than MC. Therefore, we have dead weight loss. All right, 好嘛？Last question, and then we call an end for this video. 好啦，最後一個啦。Now, 2015, question A3. Now, an increase in an effective quota would lead to a reduction in dead weight loss. Do you agree? OK, 嗱，記住 increase in effective quota means that Q increase. So let's start here. P and Q, right? P and Q. This is a supply. Let's call it, actually, no. Actually, 嚟多次。Sorry, 畫錯咗添。You should draw something like this. This is a P and Q, right? 好嘛 Now, original supply right here. This is our S1. Demand equals MB right here. All right? 唔夠識添開始。好啦 an increase in quota. So it should become something like this, S2. 係咪？好啦，記住咯，好緊要喎。Since you are doing efficiency, you have to give me the reference supply, okay? The reference here. 你畫翻出嚟喎呢條，好嘛 Now, the thing is, originally, we are at here. P1, Q1. Now, we are at P2, Q2. Now, do you see that? Now, again, let's learn how to use MB-MC gap. Original. MB1 right here. MC1 right here. Now, the new one will be MB2 right here. MC2 right here. Do you see the gap becomes smaller? So here, this part is actually increase in TSS, or if you like, decrease in dead weight loss. 好嘛? So this is diagram. How do we explain in words? Okay, we say that with an increase in effective quota, the price would drop from P1 to P2, right? 係嘛? Quantity would go up from Q1 to Q2. 係嘛? Goes up. The important sentence is at Q2, the MBMC gap, the gap between MB and MC, 係咪考試？the gap between MB and MC has become narrower. 收窄咗嘛? That would imply that weight loss has decreased. Therefore, the total social surplus would increase, 係嘛? Because of the increase in quota 係會㗎，好唔好啊？ All right, so these are the quota and price floor, price ceiling. Next video, we are going into the hardest part of this whole chapter, in which we talk about the per unit tax and per unit subsidy. All right, so see you again in next video. Bye bye.